wants to tell me you're not. I mean, you have no problem keeping your mouth shut
Right,
about things.
exactly.
Okay, well that
That's
doesn't mean
right.
I have to have that same kind of
I am a
relationship
big
with Chris.
boy, and this isn't Victoria's Secrets.
Why is everybody harping on my
And
job
I
at Victoria's
Sarah
Secret?
Jessica Parker's friend or something like that, or whatever,
Oh.
whatever you
Hey,
want.
good reference,
I'm not Will
gay
from
guy.
Will and Grace. Too bad.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay. Well, I have a
Okay.
question here. Yes.
Chris, after you said that you attempted to interject and you were witnessing that Amy was kind of poking and prodding at your personal life, we kind of saw that, you know, two or 3 hours had passed where you guys were working, and I never really saw that you tried to, because you thought that Becky had sort of divulged information to Amy. Do you take it upon your own responsibility that then you would have to confront or ask Becky about it, or like do you take it upon your own responsibility where like you need to hide your own confidentiality, or you need to keep your own confidentiality and you need to protect that, or do you see that it's other people's responsibility not to prod into it? Like, where is that line of
I think it's a double-edged sword. I mean, that whole instance, I definitely suspected something went on, but I mean, I have a big project to do, and I needed to get it out, and I wanted to get it done, because I have classes later on over the summer, some summer school classes. And so that was paramount to anything else that was going on. So I was just kind of shutting that off, and yeah, maybe when Amy left for lunch, I would have liked to have a private talk with Becky and say, you know, WTF, you know, what's going on? But yeah, it's my right to keep it secret, but I would expect the common courtesy, like she did, and not reveal that if I didn't tell her to reveal it. It's just, I mean, it's a common professional behavior in a workplace. When I worked in New York City, I mean, this kind of shenanigans didn't happen.
That was a good question. I have another question back here.
Yeah, I had a question for Amy. Let's say hypothetically you would run into, instead of this guy Alan who knew Chris, but a woman who was, say, Chris's ex-girlfriend, so you like found out that he was heterosexual. Would you have made the same announcement at work?
Sorry.
I mean, I don't really feel that I made an announcement per se. Really all I wanted to do is form a friendship with Chris. I don't understand why people wouldn't want to be friends in the office. And sure, I'm not saying I want all the dirty details of somebody's life, but yeah, maybe I would have asked him about it. You know, asked if he was dating somebody new. Probably, I mean, the same kind of prodding, I guess, that you want to say I was doing now. I just didn't feel like it was super personal information. I didn't suggest anything specific, and I didn't really accuse him of anything. I was just trying to get him to come out of his shell a little bit, so that
Amy, can I
you know, we
please?
can have some fun.
Can I please tell you something? Can I please just put you in a scenario, just to put yourself in my shoes? Let's say I go to one of your friends, I meet them outside, and they start talking to me, and I tell them I work with Amy. And this girl says, oh, Amy, last night, she was spectacular. And then I come to work with this juicy piece of gossip, and I come and approach your desk that way and say, hey, you want to go to lunch today? I know a great seafood place.
Okay, all of this doesn't matter. What matters
That's a really,
is that
really
if you want a
specific reference,
friendship,
though,
you want
and a really offensive
Tall,
one.
dark, and spicy. Nice treat.
Please.
Treat you to these
please,
handsome men.
Chris,
Sorry.
if you want relationships, friendships in the workplace, what matters is that you make those outside of the office.
I mean, that's your personal opinion, Becky.
Well,
I
obviously
live
it
my own
causes
life, and I can
problems.
make friendships however I
It
like.
causes problems like you
And
just saw.
a problem that would have been between me and Chris. Again, big boy.
I'm in this office too.
Okay, but you're talking about me staying out of his business? How about you stay out of mine?
I've never asked you a personal question.
I know, this is a personal
From this
matter.
point on, I'll just be very blunt with you. Okay?
That's completely fine.
So we have time for a couple more questions. Anything you need to know? Yes.
So, Amy mentioned that she So, what's your relationship with Alan, and like, do you think that he was being sincere, or do you have kind of a
Yeah, I mean, I've known Alan for a while, because I grew up in the Central Valley here in California, and I was off in New York working for a while, but we still kept in touch. Kind of from the same neck of the woods. He moved up to San Francisco, and he spends a lot of time working projects over here in Berkeley. And so yeah, we know each other, and we've actually roomed together in the past, so yeah, he knows me, and he's a little bit more open than I am, and yeah, I mean, I'll definitely have to talk to Alan about that too, because he knows how I am. I don't know why he would have divulged that information.
Another question? Yeah.
Amy, I was just wondering, kind of basically, what were you expecting as far as like when you're putting down these implications to Chris? Like I guess the kind of the ideal setup, I guess, when you were doing this.
Well, I suppose maybe my expectations were a little off. I have some other gay friends, and they're all, I mean, pretty open. And like I said, I wasn't expecting Chris necessarily to give me the entire spiel of his life and what he's up to and who he dates and anything like that. But I just thought he would be happy that somebody in the office knew and understood and was still accepting and, you know, wanted to forge a friendship, and one in which that, you know, sometimes, like I said, it's kind of nice when people in the workplace understand what you're going through in your personal life. If you ever have hardships or anything else, and like I said, things to talk about over lunch. So I just expected him to be happier, honestly. Maybe that was unrealistic, but I thought maybe he would jump at the opportunity to go to lunch and be friends.
Okay, good questions. Amy, Becky, and Chris, if there were one last thing you would like your colleague to know or the audience to know, can you share that with them now? Can I start with you, Amy?
Sure. If I were going to say anything, it would just be that this was not my intention. I didn't mean to out Chris, if that's the way he felt. Again, I just really wanted to make him feel comfortable in the office, make him feel like he could be who he wanted to be. And I guess in that way I kind of assumed that he was being more closed off and stiff because he thought he had to be. So I was just trying to create that more welcoming, relaxed environment.
Okay, thank you, Amy. Becky, what would you like to add?
I would like to add that in a place of business, I believe it is very important to keep confidential information, private lives separate from talks about the weekend. I think that there is a line there. And sexual orientation and a person's preference outside of the office is something that really needs to be respected.
All right, thank you. Chris, what would you like to add?
Well, I would just like to tell Amy that there are all different types of gay men, and the ones she hangs around with are a lot different than me. They didn't grow up where I grew up. I grew up in the Central Valley. I worked on a dairy with my father and two older brothers. This kind of stuff just doesn't fly in my personal life. So that's mainly why I keep it secret. I can't have my father knowing that.
All right. Well, thank you all. Actors, you're now out of character.
So let's find out who's here. We're going to just have them say their names and what they're doing here at Cal.
My name is me. I'm Jordan Tononi. I am a fourth year here at Cal, finishing up an English major, getting ready for law school.
Thank you.
My name is Remy Sloma. I am a fourth year at Cal. Interdisciplinary studies major. There's a lot more complicated information, but
Great.
My name is Jacob Hopper. I'm a second year at Cal, going for my Master's of Public Health with a focus on industrial hygiene.
Great, so we have a course called Interactive Theater, Acting for Social Change. Y'all have been studying Augusto Boal and something about Anna Devere Smith. And what would be your word to describe the kind of theater they do? How would you say it? What would be a way to describe it? Social activism. What's the other key element in both of their theaters? How do they do their work? How do they get their ideas? Observation and imitation. Going into the community, finding folks and creating characters and working with the community together to create activism change. If I was going to have Amy go back to her desk and Jacob go back to his desk as he just walked in, would someone want to come up and become Becky and try to change the scene?
Come on.
Come on.
So that's what Augusto Boal would do. He'd say, all right, you saw what went down. If you've got a better idea how it would work, go up here and let's change it. See if you could get in there and actually make a difference. What would you do to stop it? How would you have changed it? What would you have done to take it in a new direction? So my question then is, was the first part where they had the scene hard, or was the second part where they had to answer questions? Which was the more hard part, do you think? For the actors.
For actors?
Yeah.
Of the second part.
Because? Why the second part? What makes it harder to do the second part? What did you have to know? Yes? It was unscripted, right here.
You have to know the character's background.
You have to know all the characters' backgrounds, have to think more deeply. Anything else? What? Yes?
You have to understand the personality to express their reaction.
Understand the personalities to express their reactions. What did they have to know about Cal and the Haas School of Business? Was there research? What would they have had to figure out to do it? So for instance, when you went up to Haas School of Business, what did you find out? Let's describe a few things that happened there.
We originally thought we were going to be in the undergraduate admissions office. So when we went to visit the undergraduate admissions office, we found out they don't have interns or student workers. We also found out that the undergraduate is separate from the night and weekend office, which is separate from the MBA full-time office. And the only office that has interns or student workers is the night and weekend MBA office at Haas. So we had to switch our situation around a little bit. We also checked out dress and demeanor of the people working there.
Look at their desks, look at their offices, where they're working, what are they doing. When you were watching this, did you have some reaction inside your body? Did it get in your shoulders? Did it get in your heart, in your gut, in your head, in your teeth? Any reaction to the scene when you were watching it? Where would you say it hit? Yes? In your cheeks. Good.